we're going to have a vibe coding boot camp for activists.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, no, think about it. Like, the average small organization, and it might be a small business too. It doesn't have to be a nonprofit. Let's say you guys have a need for something, a new system for, I don't know, it could be just like accepting Bitcoin at your bar or whatever. I mean, with very little, if any, programming experience, you can just vibe code stuff and save the need to hire a company to do it for you.
Yeah.
This is getting real, right? So we want the activists to be able to have access to the best tools in the world so that they can spend as little as possible on what's unnecessary and focus on what they need to do. And that means understanding how to use AI tools for writing reports, designing annual reports, building websites, designing certain software, all of that stuff. And I think in the next year, that's all going to become just something that's a matter of course for small organizations.
Yeah.
Like if you're not doing it, you're wasting time and money.
Yeah.
And I don't think it takes away from human freedom at all. It actually leverages what you can do a lot, in my opinion. Now, at the same time, we're also going to be looking at what governments are doing with AI. And that's scary. Great. So we're going to be showing that. But the point is, it's kind of like, I mean, Bitcoin is a very specific ideologically driven thing, right? It's in the world of money. It's one thing in the world of money, right? You also have CBDCs at the other end. You have fiat money. You have credit money. You have all different kinds of money. For AI, you want to think of AI like like money. It's a giant bucket of things. There's freedom AI and there's control AI, right? So we're looking at both things and trying to figure out how to position ourselves to make an impact on both. And what we think probably is best for at least the next year and a half, 2 years, is publish hard-hitting reports that reveal what governments and dictators are doing with AI that people don't know about. Like we're having a huge China one come out at the end of the year. Yeah. Huge report on China and AI. Iran and AI. What are they doing with the cameras and on every street and AI, and how is that all linking together? At the same time, investing massively in open source AI infrastructure so that like PubKey can have its, in like Iron Man where Tony has his like assistant, whatever her name is.
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis?
Jarvis? Is that it?
Jarvis is the computer.
No, the woman. It's a woman's voice.
That's his partner.
No, but she's like speaking. Doesn't
it
the
Jarvis?
computer have a female voice?
I think it's Jarvis.
Whatever it ends up being. You know what I'm talking about though, right? Yeah. His assistant.
Yeah.
Okay. So his assistant does all that stuff for him. It's not like he didn't buy it on Amazon. He built it. It runs for him. It's like it's his own sovereign agent, right? So PubKey needs its own sovereign agent that does the shit that you guys want to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't leak stuff to some random corporation.
Yeah.
And every family and organization needs one of these, or at least should have one. Now, in the age of Alexa and Siri, I'm not sure if we'll get there, but what we want is for the organizations that need one to have the ability to have one.
Yeah.
So every human rights group should have the ability in the next couple of years to, have their own full stack AI assistant agent that does all the shit they need it to do for them, that can be constantly upgrading and learning from other open source, modules, but that they control and they can train it. And what would be amazing is like for me to be able to, for example, certain things that I've learned how to do in my field, I can train an agent to do that and then gift that agent to other people, right? You can start seeing this. This is going to be crazy. So in as much as you guys have some stack of processes and services and technology that you end up doing at PubKey for being a Bitcoin powered small business and hopefully large business, but small business, chain, empire, whatever you guys are going to end up doing.
It's our bar systems.
Yeah, you'll be able to gift your expertise to others.
Sure.
Or make it open source, obviously.
Yeah.
So the idea is hopefully there will be good enough education about this stuff where the average group can spin up a, like an out-of-the-box open source agent that does all the basic shit that's useful for nonprofits out of the box. And then from there, you can tweak it and build it and get to whatever you need it to do. And then maybe you end up doing something really amazing and you repost it and you say, hey, this one's been tweaked for this. So I think in a matter of a couple of years, we're going to get to the point of like people understanding the real power of these agents and what they can do. I mean, already I can tell you what even just ChatGPT out of the box does for stuff like industry reports or like annual reports, which I can tell you are a huge amount of the time spent in nonprofit land, updating your donors, or again, doing a report on your annual activities. I mean, you basically spend a couple hours writing a really good super prompt, which means like you're in a doc and you're just saying stuff like, hey, I need a 14-page document written in the style of X that sounds like the writing of X, Y, and Z, where the brain is kind of like wired like this, and the audience is this, and I want you to draw on our last 4 annual reports for additional style, and you need to hit these things, bullet points. And you just fucking plug it into Deep Search, and it does like the most incredible 14-page report.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then you can then spend a few hours editing that, and then it's good to go. That used to take you days, if not weeks. Right. So like you can quickly start to imagine that like every single nonprofit is going to use this stuff. The question is, can we have it ourselves, as opposed to like feeding all this data to OpenAI, to Sam's empire,
Just to
right?
Sam. Yeah.
So
goes right to Sam.
It's both a very exciting and exhilarating time, but also like we need to make sure that the open side of it is like what people do now.
We're going to talk about Worldcoin at all at Oslo, because Sam is kind of moving and blending some of these worlds. So you're touching on like making the agents available for activists, individuals,
yes,
and nonprofits, but there's also kind of a push to make, I guess, some of the crypto world and crypto assets a little bit more in an open AI model, where there is one sort of like hegemon controlling things like identity. Maybe that's a crossover between Bitcoin and Nostr.
I mean, what I can say is, we don't have a talk on Worldcoin, but our programming is geared to look at countries that have been scammed the hardest by Worldcoin and to do Bitcoin education in those countries.
Yeah.
So, for example, Kenya is a great example.
Yeah.
We fund numerous educational initiatives there, whether it be the core or BTC Data, other developers, community organizers, and we push hard there to make sure that they're out there educating people about Bitcoin and teaching them that Worldcoin's a scam. This is the only way.
Yeah.
I've always been a believer in that you can't kill scams through law or through regulation. I think it has to be through education.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there will always be legal scams. Like, I think even in, Bitcoiners' wildest dreams or whatever, you have to understand there's always going to be the ability for Thomas and Alex to spin up Thomas and Alex coin. Now, what is it legal? Is it not legal? Who knows? But like, there's nothing technologically stopping people from scamming other people or just from creating securities that we promise you are going to be worth more in the future, right? So,
sure.
At the end of the day, you're going to have the equivalent. If you look at like majors and penny stocks, like you're going to have penny stocks in the future. They're just not going anywhere. So the only way that we're going to prevent people from getting scammed is to educate them about Bitcoin. Bitcoin will do the rest, right? Over time, Bitcoin will educate them. Like, a lot of people have to touch the stove or whatever, but that's where I think you'll see the lion's share of our work being done.
Worldcoin's making another really big push, even here.
It's crazy. Yeah,
I see a lot of big.
Well, now that
events.
they can give it to Americans now because of the new. Yeah. Ironic.
Crime is legal now.
You can scam Americans now. It's great.
Exactly. All right, so
but you remember that though? It's like in the 2017 era, if someone tried to buy, what was it, EOS or something like that?
Yeah.
You couldn't if you were an American.
Yeah.
Like you had to think about that for a second. Like, okay, now you can get scammed any way you want. It's open season on scamming Americans.
Yeah.
But that's where we are.
So. A lot of hot stoves.